me, call me, text me.
You know what?
I don't say
I
it.
hate you.
Right. Does that make a difference in my life?
Let me know when you change your mind.
Exactly.
That's the type of text I would send.
Text me.
ASAP.
Like they're tracking us down, you guys.
Hello, welcome to our channel, How Rare.
We are the Helenas. Today we're going to start with something that we saw online and we thought we should mention.
Definitely.
Okay, so the post said, pay attention to how your nervous system responds to when you meet people. And we thought we could all relate to this.
Yeah. It's like different people give you different vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even though you haven't talked to them, it's just like their aura. You just look at them and you're like, I don't know if I ever want this person to ever talk to me or be around me kind of vibes. Has anybody given you that kind of vibes?
Absolutely. There are some people that I meet, right when you meet them, it's not even like your friend. So it would just be like a friend of a friend. Like you bring someone and then you introduce me and I'm just like, off the top of my head, I'm like, that's not a good friend, or like...
Or sometimes they even dig graves for themselves. You know, you're just like trying to like warm up to this person because your best friend or whoever brought them, and they just dig themselves in like that. I'm just like, everything that's coming out of your mouth is just like, bleh. You know, this person because your best friend or whoever brought them, and they just dig themselves. They're like, oh, I'm like this, I'm like that. I'm just like, everything that's coming out of your mouth is...
Speaking of responding to people, we're going to talk about texting.
What you doing, girl?
Texting.
What you doing, girl?
A paragraph, so you already know I'm the expressive texter.
Oh, God. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
I am definitely the forgetful texter, I feel like. I would text you something and 5 minutes later, not even 5 minutes, 2 seconds later, I would completely forget that we're having a conversation, and then it would be 2 hours, and then at that point I'm like, should I even respond? Is it rude to respond, or is it rude to just not say anything? So at that point, what do you do?
I feel like Hills has a whole memory issue where like she she tries to multitask and forgets everything, and like for people who don't know her, please don't hold it against her,
please.
But like she does forget, and I have to remind
do.
her all the time. Like, you know how you just like highlight and question mark that question so she can like see it and reply back to me, and it's just like she forgets.
Happens a lot. That happens a lot.
The thing is, the same thing happens to me, like especially like sometimes if it's a work text and I just don't know what to say, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I have to text them. I have to let them know either to if I'm like not coming in or whatever, and I'm getting asked these questions, I don't know what to say, and then minutes later I'm talking to Luam, so gone. Forgot about it.
And I hate that it kind of like comes off as a lie sometimes, because then your friends are just like, oh, you forgot again.
Yeah, right. Especially
I'm like, I honestly
like
did.
if you're in a bad situation with your friends, or you're trying to like, you know,
it just sounds like you're thinking of what to say.
How about those people that text you whole like text paragraphs of text where you're just like, you're trying to say one point and you're like legit texting me like paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of like text, and I'm just like, okay, well, what's the point? Like, just be like, hey, I want this, or hey, let's do this. You know, like, come on, people.
But sometimes you just want to tell your story in the shortest form, and then it just ends up like you want to vent and express yourself. You know, before you know it, it's 2 paragraphs down, and you still don't have your point across. So,
but
you want to keep going. But the difference is, it depends on who you're texting like that, right?
Yeah.
I can text my best friend Michi like paragraphs, and she would text me back paragraphs. So,
and for me, I'm more of like a person that you can call and talk to. Like, I'd rather have like a conversation on the phone or like face-to-face conversations, and instead of like writing a whole text. Because like for some people, it's like, you know, I'm a bad texter. Horrible. My text personality is like, wink, wink.
Bad with calls, bad with texts. Like, her phone is always on silent. She barely responds to your texts, but, you know, so she's not the person you contact in emergencies.
Emergencies? What you mean?
Yeah, because, like, you never pick up, you never respond to texts.
If I'm at work, I can't pick up or
you never
text
respond
back.
at home.
I
don't matter.
Best. I mean, you know, like, sometimes you leave it somewhere and you don't pick it up. Like, I'm trying to, like, stay away from my phone as much as possible. But, like, I guess, yes, if it's an emergency, like, I would definitely consider... I don't know if I've ever been in a situation where I drunk text anybody and regretted it.
No? Oh, regretted it.
Or, like,
happened?
I don't know, like the next morning you wake up and you're just like, did I text somebody when I was drunk?
I only regret it because I don't make sense. When I drunk text, it makes no sense. I just be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, so you coming? And that person is not even invited at the party, or like they don't know what I'm talking about. I'm probably not even at a party that I hosted myself. It makes no sense.
Inviting a bunch of people. I remember one time you were at this party. I don't know what the party was about, but I was getting off work and I was joining the party, and I was sitting next to you and you were texting me, where are you? Did you come? Where are you? And I'm just like, here, lady, here.
Don't remember that. So that has nothing to do with me and the way I'm texting. That's just the alcohol speaking. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. Okay. And then what else? But you do text like people, like, you know how they say like you text your boo when you're
Oh my god, I've never been in a situation where I texted my ex when I was drunk.
Yeah, I've never been. Let us know if you've been though.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Comment below.
Yeah,
Tell us the
know.
most embarrassing thing you've done. I mean, not done, but texted anybody while you were drunk.
Yeah, I don't have an experience with that, but okay. Anyways, and then there is the animated texter, which, yeah, absolutely, I'm an animated texter. I feel like it makes the text 10 times more fun. I feel like that's the most fun. If you're just dull texting me, like, just letters.
Especially if you're talking to somebody and they're just like, just randomly like straight up text. I'm just like, come on.
You're just
add
like
a smiley face
laughing,
or
but
like
no
a salty
laughing
face,
emoji.
like the
Right.
kind
like,
of thing, you know? Like
I do that all the time, especially with my sister. When I text my sister, I'm like, oh, you don't feel that way? Whatever. And I put a meme that says, So something like that. Like, it just makes it fun, you know?
boy bad.
Boy bad. We didn't talk about the emotional texter.
Ugh. No, let's not do that.
The emotional texter.
Lord help you. Because you know what?
We've all been an emotional texter. You know when you're so emotional and mad at someone, you just want to say anything to get to them. And then you wake up later on and be like, damn, did I really need to say that? Like, was that necessary? You've had that moment. Everyone has that moment.
When I'm on my period.
I don't even have to be on my period. I just got to be mad at the person. And I'll say, and I don't usually do this, but it happens. You just say something to get to them, just so you know it's gonna boil their blood.
Oh shit, is that emotional? That's just like envy. Like, I want you to feel
an angry text.
I want you to like.
I guess that's an angry text, right?
There's oh my god, there's so many texts, you know. Like,
there's.
But that's like a
texts.
mode you're in. It's not like who you are precisely.
No, none of it is who you are. It's just you respond to different people a different way, right?
Yeah.
So. I guess that's more of an angry texter. When you're angry at someone, you just want to say anything to get to them, and you're just like, you know what? Your mama is. Never mind. I just don't say that.
You know what?
I don't say.
I hate you. You ruined
I hate
my life.
you is too. I hate you. So what?
That's too much, right?
So
you
what?
hate me. What's
You
that
hate
gonna
me.
do?
Right. Does that
Let
make
me
a difference
know.
in my life?
Let me know
No.
when you change your mind.
Exactly.
That's the type of text I would text somebody.
Let me know when you don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can be friends.
I'll think about it.
I don't think about it.
You know? And last but not least, we have motivational texters.
Motivational texters. I don't know if I receive a lot of that, honestly.
I mean,
And I'm a motivational I'm a motivational texter only if you ask for my advice, or if you want me to motivate you in something, or you're feeling down and you feel like you need someone to pick you up and stuff. I could be that person, but normally I wouldn't be waking up in the morning being like, oh, God is good, like you should have a positive day, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's
sometimes
the friend you
like
need.
I would be like texting you for not like definitely motivational things, but more of like I want you to talk to me and like support me, and like I feel like that's a motivation. I feel like, you know, a way of motivating somebody, but without knowing it. Like, she's the one to go to. I would be deal with it.
Honestly,
And it's kind of like depressing. And
I'm kind of like the
doesn't work
Dr.
out.
Phil for everyone. Call me Dr. Hills.
Definitely.
I got you. Text me.
True.
In this case, you don't have my number, so DM me on Instagram if you want you at Dr. Hills.
And
Okay.
DM me if you want some savage answers like,
Right.
deal with it.
Deal with it. Like,
It's gonna be fine.
literally what she would
Everything
say.
happens for a reason. Or just be like, be positive, stay positive. Things will
got
change
this.
sooner or later.
Right.
It's like, that's my mentality, which is like, sometimes.
I don't want you telling me this shit. I can find that on the internet.
Right?
But I feel like nowadays motivational texters, or like, we don't need motivational texters. We need, I guess that's important too, but like all the memes we see online that share like that relates so much to you that you feel like it's speaking about you, you know?
That
like,
is so true. There's so
yeah.
many of them out there.
There's so
Even
many
though
memes.
it's not about you, you read it and you're just like, there are some days I felt like this.
Exactly.
Even though you don't feel like that at that moment.
Right. And sometimes it's just on point. Like, you feel exactly like that. Out of nowhere, Instagram gives you a post that relates exactly to you.
There's
Which is
sometimes
kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is so creepy, and it's like
They're tracking us down, you guys.
there's ways to deal with that.
Yeah. So to wrap this all up, right? We can always joke about it, laugh about it, but when it comes down to it, texting can also become negative. It can always come out as like bullying. Is someone you know or someone you don't know might DM you on Instagram or message you on your phone. Nowadays, you don't even know how people get your number, right?
Yeah.
So it could come out as bullying, and you could find yourself so depressed from it, because we hear a lot on social media, on the news, that
There's
you
so
know,
many
what you
kids
say-
like there's so many kids and so many even adults like us and like even older that deal with different problems, and like when you have that one issue that you're trying to like, you know, change about yourself, it might be
Right.
physical, it
And
might be
someone
mental,
just keeps, like-
you know, like knowing that there's some people that enjoy like torturing people,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
just sad, and like some people end up in positions like I personally don't want to see anybody in.
Right.
And there's always help for those type of people. There's always a way out. I mean, and that way out is?
Well, we know about this line called Crisis Hotline. You can text 741-741, or you can text HOME to 741-741. It's Crisis Hotline, and they helped so many people come out of like thoughts of suicide or depression or
Anxiety.
just like, anything that, any negative feeling that you feel from like receiving a text. It might not even be a text message, that's just our topic, but it might be anything from comments on your pictures, or anything from your coworker said something, or your friend said something that made you feel so uncomfortable, and so like gave you like a low self-esteem, and you don't know how to deal with it, and it's bothering you. That's definitely the number to call, and we'll add it on the description so that you have access to it.
And those people that are doing this, like, look at yourself. There's always something that you have to deal with too, and know that people are, you know, starting the days in different ways, and there's people that are living their lives in different positions and like you don't know about, because when
Right.
you see a person and you don't know what's going on in their head, use your energy for positive. Use
Right.
it to lift up people, lift up spirits. You know, don't look at people for their disabilities or anything they have physically or mentally. Look at them as human beings and treat them the way you want to be treated.
Yeah. In some cases, when people are rude, it's mostly because they're unhappy about something in their own life. So it has nothing to do with us. So the best we can do is just act positive and let it go.
And laugh it off, you know?
Laugh it off. That's
Just
always,
be like,
yeah. Thank you so much for watching. So if you watched up to this point, make sure you comment just to show your support. And of course,
subscribe.
subscribe,
And hit that bell button. Make sure you do that. Don't forget to subscribe again. Bye.